Hello and welcome to Drive and Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. Before we get into today's movie, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. Over at patreon.com/driveanddoubleFeaturepodcast, we have fun bonus episodes talking about things, ranking movies, and just for $5 a month, you get those special bonus episodes. But getting into today's movie, we're talking about Teenage Caveman from 1958. It's actually our first Roger Corman directed movie. Yeah, the man himself made this and produced it. I saw the poster for this and I thought it looked cool. I thought it would be a really interesting, weird 50s movie. It might be quite the opposite.
Well, no, you're half right. It is a movie from the 50s.
You know what? At least I got that right. I got the decade correct.
It definitely was not interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Teenage Caveman. What a fun name, right? Like, I don't know. There was something about, oh yeah, Teenage Caveman. That's silly. This guy doesn't even look like a teenager, for one.
He's definitely not a teenager. It's starring Robert Vaughn, who was like in stuff like the Magnificent Seven, The Towering Inferno. He was nominated for an Oscar for The Philadelphians as well, but didn't win. But yeah, he's definitely like almost 30 years old when he's doing this movie.
And you can tell, like, he's not passing the teenager vibes off very well. So do you think people in the 50s seeing it, because we already have told everybody what our opinions are of this so far. I feel like we've given off the vibe, but do you think people in the 50s would have actually enjoyed this movie? It's so weird. Imagine. Like, Roger Corman is just pushing off, like, this is one of the few times where I think Teenage Caveman has its funny moments, right? Watching it has its funny bad moments, but overall I would say it's not a very enjoyable movie.
No, I did not like this movie at all. It's so boring. It's really, really bad.
It's so plotless and, like, I don't know. I get what they're going for. It's like Rebel Without a Cause, but in caveman times. But that is like the dumbest mix I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that you're being really generous with that description too.
You think so?
Because I mean, he's like a caveman. It's like all in this cave society, which they all live in Bronson Cave. Did you notice that?
Bronson Cave, the place where every film is made.
Yeah, well, that was Bronson Cave, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he's like a boy, and they all have like this society of cavemen and all that, and they're like, he's like, oh, well, why do we have to believe these beliefs? Why can't we go out there? And his dad's like, you cannot go out in that far beyond land, and they're. And there's like, oh, I am the possessed, and there's like these elders for there. It's like, I am the possessor of fire. It is God's first gift to humans. And it's like, I am possessor of the wheel. This is the second gift of the man from God.
Yeah.
And then I didn't understand what the third one was. It was like, I build things and then break them.
Yeah, God, I did not know. I might have been asleep by this point.
That was the beginning of the movie.
It knocked me out real fast. But no, I agree. I didn't understand what was going with that. I honestly, the religion aspect of this is, like, I don't know, really uninteresting. So, like, the whole thing is a religion. Oh, spoilers. I'm just going to give away spoilers right now.
What?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't think you should care too much about this movie. So this whole movie has a religion that they follow where they can't enter the nowhere land, and there's a big twist at the end of the movie as to why. And I just don't get what they're going for with this. Like, it feels like almost like, oh yeah, let's make an anti-religion movie in 1958, which feels like something that totally wouldn't happen. Because that's what it is. It's a constant fight. He leaves to go to the no man's land, he gets caught, and then he tries to do it again, and he gets caught. It's just like this annoying back and forth it's just annoying.
Is it anti-religion? I thought it was like affirming that he should have stayed in the
Did it?
cave.
Do you think so? The whole
Well,
time. Well, I mean, at the end of the movie, I guess you're right. It's like, oh wow, they really shouldn't have left. That was a really bad
well,
idea.
well, like the big spoiler in
Mhm.
this movie is that the movie is actually set in the future,
Oh
and
my
that
god.
the prehistoric world they thought was actually like a nuclear wasteland.
Yeah. Did that twist get you?
By that point, I didn't give a shit.
No, I knew the whole. I was like, this is the village. Like this is just the village. M Night ripped off a Teenage Caveman, I guess, but
He did, didn't he?
yeah, except without the nuclear holocaust. I love that the dude from the future is like a giant Chewbacca looking guy.
What was that outfit?
I
It looked
don't
like a
know.
bug.
I don't know what that is. And then we were supposed to be like, oh, he was human. Yeah, why was he wearing that suit? It was bizarre. It was so
It,
bizarre.
well, there's a
Um,
lot of those. Like, there's a guy in a bear suit in the beginning, like when they're doing like their hunting scene,
mhm.
and there's like domesticated dogs
I want
that
to talk
that
about that.
like what was that? Why
Yeah,
were there dogs just
it
chilling out?
it was supposed to be like prehistoric times in our minds at that point, and there's just domesticated dogs running around, and like where the movie shoots it as if these are like the most vicious beings, but obviously they're just kind of going to Robert Vaughn, hopping on him a little, and that's it.
Well, it's not like they look like wolves. I mean, there was one.
No,
It's like one was like it looked like a lab or something like that. It's like
yeah,
it definitely did not look like vicious dogs or like
yeah.
or wolves or anything like that.
And that happens a lot in this movie. There's a lot of weird moments like that, like the scene with the crocodile and the lizard fighting each other, where they're supposed to look like, I think they're trying to say they're like dinosaurs. They want it to look big. It does not come off that way.
I didn't look, but I was wondering, was that scene like lifted from like another movie?
It seems like it, right? Like they could have just taken it from like a documentary or
Well,
something.
I thought they were like oh, maybe they took it from like the Lost World or something like that.
I could see it. I could see it. And this seems graphic too, because the crocodile latches on the lizard and does like the death roll that crocodiles
Oh
do.
yeah, that
Yeah.
lizard goes like totally limp. That lizard died for
Yeah.
Teenage Caveman.
Poor guy. And then I love the shot of Robert Vaughn watching this, just like staring off into the distance. And we're supposed to be like, oh wow, he's really seeing all this action.
That's the other thing too. That the acting in this movie is some of the blandest acting I've ever
Oh
seen
yeah.
in a movie. Like nobody has any defining character traits.
Nobody. I couldn't pick anybody out except one of them has like a beard.
Yeah.
One's his dad, and then Robert Vaughn. Oh, and there's a lady in it too, who just kind of appears in the movie sometimes.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah,
it's like, well, we gotta add a love interest just because.
yeah, exactly. There's sex appeal in this in the 1950s way. You see her back in the water, and then that scene is really awkward because he's playing like the pan flute as he walks near her, and it's like, no, just stay. It's okay. Listen to this music, and you'll stay.
Well, it wasn't even like a pan flute. Like he didn't have like a full pan flute. He only had
No.
like two hollow like wooden tubes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like,
It's so stupid. um,
so so I'm looking at the cast list because I was like, I don't remember their character name, but it was just
yeah,
Robert Vaughn, who's the main character. His character name is the Symbol Maker's teenage son,
nice.
and the blonde maiden is the love interest. The Symbol Maker, which is his dad, the black bearded one,
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
the member of the tribe, curly haired boy, Symbol Maker's wife.
Actually, the guy who played who is the black bearded one is in a bunch of Ralph Bakshi films, I guess.
Is he?
He's an American Pop. He played Crisco, but he's also in Hey Good Looking and Heavy Traffic. Actually, Hey Good Looking was his last film role. which is really interesting.
Well, what a movie to go out on.
Yeah, great. He picked some great roles in his career.
Hey, maybe he was trying really hard, but
yeah, no, I don't want to be too mean. He at least he's recognizable. There's this movie. I feel like I'm laying into this movie, but it's not very good. It's obviously made very cheap. There's scenes where speakers, like the speaking character, is off frame, like is cut off by frame, like you're not even looking at who's talking. It's so poorly just shot.
Yeah, where did you watch? I watched this on YouTube.
I think I watched it on Tubi. Yeah, I watched it on Tubi.
Yeah.
How was your YouTube copy?
Probably not much different, I'm guessing, but
no.
But there's some really dumb scenes too. Like the first initial scene where he was trying to like get his friends to go with him, and the guy like they go and they're trying to cross this big pond or whatever, but I guess they're trying to say it's quicksand, even though it's clearly water. And this guy falls in, and they hand him out a branch for him to try to grab onto to pull himself out, and it's like the most unconvincing drowning I've seen in a movie, where like a guy he grabs onto the branch and he's just kind of holding it. But he doesn't like try to pull himself in. He's just like, I'm going to dead weight myself. And, and then like, you guys got to pull me in. And then he drowns like, like just barely thrashing, and just goes underneath the water, and he's dead.
Yeah, no, it's awful. Roger Corman seems like a one-shot man. Like he's like doesn't care about any of the acting. He's like, all right, we did it, we filmed it, let's move on. God, I was reading, somebody asked him about this movie, and he said, I've never made a movie called Teenage Caveman. Like he forgets this movie existed.
Well, I think the reason for that was I read that too, but yeah. I think they said the reason why he says that is because it really originally was not called Teenage Caveman. It was called Prehistoric World, and American International changed the title to Teenage Caveman, and Roger Corman I think that was him kind of like, I didn't direct Teenage Caveman, I did Prehistoric World.
I have standards. God, this dude keeps popping up in everything. Oh yeah, and this movie's only 65 minutes long, by the way. It is stretching what a movie can be.
Yeah, it's like bare minimum. It's like if you and I were just recording a podcast for an hour, and then we just said, let's just stop, and that'd be like the equivalent of that.
Yeah, where we met our quota for the day, and we said goodbye to each other.
Yeah, the movie was only 65 minutes, but it definitely did not feel like 60 minutes. Like there's like I said the point before where I was like, I watched the English version of Baron. That was about 60 minutes. And that one, it flew by. I was like, oh, this movie's almost over. This one, I'm like, okay, this has got to be over soon. I'm like, damn it, there's still 30 minutes.
Yeah, and no, that happened to me too. I checked the runtime in the middle of this movie. I was like, okay, we got to be wrapping up. But no, there's an amazing scene after they kill the bug creature man. He has just full print photos of like two men shaking hands, and he's like, oh, this must be how humans should greet each other, huh? It's so silly.
It's such a dumb twist. And there's a guy that appears on a horse, and they're like, let's get him, the strange animal. And the guys is like, hey guys, what's going on? And they kill him.
That was so stupid, because like they thought it was a creature when it's obviously a man just riding a horse. They're two separate entities, and they're like, oh, weird man person creature. It has hands at the front of its body, and it touches the ground. And
which is, yeah,
and one guy throws a spear at it. And I don't know if you watched the trajectory of the spear. complete opposite direction. Like you see this like fake plastic spear lunge and it like slaps the ground like on the other side of the horse.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because these people have like they've seen animals before.
Yeah, they've seen dogs.
They've seen dogs. I mean, I understand that. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's pretend they've never have seen a horse. They've seen what a person looks like. They've seen a person sitting down on something.
Yeah.
So it's like, it would be like the equivalent of like if I was just sitting on a log, like a horse, and they're like, man log.
Half log, kill him, you freak. But yeah, I just think you're right. The more I think about this movie, the more I think it's in favor of like the religion, because the whole idea is that the people that blew up the place made a religion people ran away from the nuclear bombs and they made a religion to never go out. But the whole movie we're supposed to be rooting for this boy, and he's like, you know what, I want to break tradition, I want to go out there, I want to make a name for myself, I don't want to be like you guys. And then the movie's just kind of like, well, he was wrong, what an idiot. It's there's nuclear waste out there, dummy.
That's why I was thinking. I was like, they were supposed to stay there the whole time. It's like it wasn't safe being outside there.
Yeah. Just an odd twist, a bad twist. I hope that nobody in the theater in there and in the 50s was like, oh my god. Well, maybe. I guess they hadn't seen a lot of movies with that twist, but nowadays it's like that's just a dumb one.
That's bold of you to think that people actually saw this movie.
That is true. I don't know who saw this movie.
You mean they weren't excited because this movie was double billed with How to Make a Monster?
Oh, what? Really? Oh my god. Okay. They were waiting around for How to Build a Monster. That's what it was.
I was going to say too, they have interviewed Robert Vaughn about this, and he does not look favorably at this movie. He said it's the worst movie he's ever been in.
Wow. You know what? I could see it.
I mean, I can't say that I've seen a lot of Robert Vaughn's other movies other than I haven't seen every single Robert Vaughn movie. I'm sorry.
No, my God. You're not a Robert Vaughn completionist like the rest of us.
I'm not a Vaughn fan. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
But I can't imagine it being getting too much worse than this.
Definitely on the bottom of the barrel.
But we don't normally talk about how this compares to other movies. But I think when we talk about like the worst ones we've done, I was wondering, like, do you have a scale of like where this would fall in?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely low. It's not the worst because
it's going to be tough to be Wired.
Yeah, so Wired I think just is out of the question because Wired's offensive. Like there's a difference between just like a crappy movie and like a horrible like offensive movie. God, let me look really quickly. Do you have a place you'd put it?
Well, I was trying to determine, and I was like, what movies would I rather watch again than this one? That's like, would I rather watch Mac and Me? I'm like, yeah, I probably would watch Mac and Me.
Yeah, Mac and Me is actually funny. Would you? Okay, then would you rather watch Jesus Bro instead of this? I think I would.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
This is only an hour.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Jesus Bro was kind of miserable, and I didn't laugh very much. And at least because remember, Jesus Bro is like, isn't it like it's like 100 minutes, like almost 2 hours or something? I could be thinking of this wrong, but
I think so. The Spirit of Christmas, that's a classic. That's one we almost.
I would watch that again because that one was just bland.
Yeah,
but I'd watch that again.
It ranks in the bottom. It's definitely on the bottom.
It's probably bottom 5 for me for sure.
Yeah. Well, Nathan's come come at it again with another worst movie.
Oh no, I know. I recommended Wired, so
Yeah, well, that's the thing when you scrape the bottom of the barrel. Sometimes you're gonna get some bad ones. There's a lot of bad movies out there for sure.
well, it's good to give out a bad one every now and then because there's been a lot of positives we've been doing lately. We need to do a stinker every now and then.
We've been too positive on this podcast.
That's what I say.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think it's always fun to find a movie to just blast into. Because here's the thing. It's not like I'm ruining. Robert Vaughn obviously doesn't like this movie. Roger Corman's not alive, but I can tell you right now that when he was making this, he didn't care. Like, this movie stinks of, I don't care about what I'm making.
What little I could find about it, it was that Roger Corman was not necessarily brought in as like a quality director because Roger Corman pretty much had the I guess the licensing, like I can shoot stuff fast and quick and cheap.
Yeah.
So it's like we need somebody to come in under budget. We need somebody that is going to not take too long. So he was that guy. So to me, I can't imagine Roger Corman being like, "Oh yeah, I love this movie."
And that man would go on later to get an Academy Award, an honorary one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they mentioned Teenage Caveman?
They did. They did the montage had like 50% Teenage Caveman clips. It was really weird.
They just played the whole movie. And so it was really weird at the Oscars.
Yeah. Well, at the Oscars, that's like only like what 10% of its runtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine the whole Oscar crowd watching this. I couldn't imagine watching this movie with the crowd, no less. With friends. I mean, I know this is a Mystery Science Theater episode. I've never seen it. I'm glad that they somehow found some jokes out of this one.
I'm sure there's some, but I chose not to watch it because I didn't want to say any jokes or anything like that associated. But I might go back and watch that version. If I was going to rewatch it again, it would be that version.
Yes, yeah, that would be the more enjoyable way to do this.
So you give this a full recommend, right?
Yeah, definitely check out Teenage Caveman. It's streaming right now on Tubi. Yeah, I definitely. And I'm kidding. No, don't waste your time. It's only an hour long, but it is a painful hour-long experience. If you like boring movies, check it out.
I can't really give it a recommend even as a curiosity. It's not very good in my opinion.
No.
So definitely avoid.
Yeah, avoid it. But I guess that wraps it up for Teenage Caveman. What are we going to talk about on Thursday, Ryan?
Well, Nathan, I'm getting in the holiday spirit, so I figured I would recommend a Christmas movie. Okay. And of course, it's going to be Die Hard.
Yes. Die Hard. Wait.
Oh, wait. No.
Wait. Did you say because it's a Christmas?
Wait. What month is it? December? Oh, wait. No, I can't do that one.
Yeah. We're not in the summer spirit. What the heck?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. I thought it said Christmas movie, but anyway. No, we're doing this.
What idiot would think that's a Christmas movie?
I know, right? But no, we're going to be doing this. No, Nathan, we're actually going to be doing a international Christmas movie, and that will be a French movie called Deadly Game, and that is streaming over on Shudder, where you can check it out with us.
Awesome. Well, if you want to send us an email, you can email us at driveindoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us for however long that lasts over at DIDFpod. But until next time.
Until next time.